U.S. isn't the only country where upcoming elections could play a crucial role for business. Brazil is set to choose a new president on Halloween, and the results could play a significant role in the future of the country's fast-growing energy sector. Joining me now is Luiz Rolla. He's Chief Financial Officer of Cemig, which is Brazil's second-largest electricity generator and distributor. Welcome to the show. Give me a sense here, because as we count down to the elections in Brazil, we've actually been looking at the utilities like yours gaining, as this question of who's going to win the election seemingly is leaning towards now not Dilma Rousseff, but perhaps José Serra. What would a Serra win mean for your business?
Well, regardless who is going to win the election, the industry is going to be very busy anyway, because Brazil economic growth will imply need for power in the coming years, very large need, and so that represents a lot of investment to be done. And of course, companies like ours are ready to invest in the industry, enlarging capacity all the time. And I don't believe one or another candidate who wins is going to have a big influence on this.
Because we have seen a number of firms, Barclays and the others, that up their forecasts for what we could see out of firms like yours, dependent on who wins. Dilma Rousseff, who was favored by current President Lula, the expectation is, because she was a former energy minister, that we could see more state involvement. Is that what you would expect?
Well, we expect, of course, Dilma Rousseff is a very experienced person in the industry. She has a very good experience in the industry in the second term of Mr. Lula administration. And of course, she has the plans for the industry as well. She is the manager of the federal government's program for infrastructure project, and of course she has a clear view on the needs, the project we need to implement in Brazil in the coming years as well. But the other candidate as well, Mr. Serra, as São Paulo's governor,
right,
he also has a big point on the infrastructure project that has to be implemented. In general, I believe in the consensus in all parties that Brazil needs a very large investment in the infrastructure project, and not only in power but in other sectors as well. And so, in this regard, all the investors, the Brazilian investors, are very upbeat on the perspective for the coming years.
Brazil this week raised a tax on foreign investment in fixed income. Is that going to affect your company, ability to sell bonds?
So far, no impact, because we have funded ourselves in the local market. And so last year, for instance, we raised around $6 billion in bonds in the local market. And so those bonds are not subject to the tax, and so that is good for us, because the local cost, the local bonds cost will be very competitive to the international ones.
Sir, your country's finance minister has gotten a lot of attention because of his discussion of what's happening in the global currency markets. How have the fluctuations in the real affected you and your business?
Very little as well, because our foreign currency denominated debt is pretty low. As I said, we have a policy to reduce the FX risk, and we have done a reduction in the dollar and other currency denominated debt since long ago. Of course, we have some operating expense which are denominated in dollars, but they are not so big, and so the effects. We have some mitigation measure as well to take, and for sure the impact will be very little on the company's result.
All right, so thank you very much, Mr. Rolla, for joining us there on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
Okay.